Lord are the Lord's people. You know, those who love Him and serve Him and actively seek Him. If you're thinking about Him every day, if you're communing with Him every day in one way or another, if you're conscious of sin, you're asking Him to forgive you of your sins every day, that shows a heart and a love for the Lord. And so it's these people that are the Lord's. I know some of you get so beaten down by the fact that you're not perfect, but the Lord's working with you, going through that sanctification process with Him. You don't have to be perfect to be the Lord's. You know, just seek Him and love Him, and learn how to hear His voice. And these are the people that are led by His Spirit, because you're seeking Him. I have learned that is the single most important factor in having a relationship with Him, is the part that you're seeking Him. You're talking to Him, you're conscious of Him, you're focusing on Him, you're meditating on Him. That's the single biggest thing in a relationship with Him, and building it with Him. And so if you're doing that, you really don't have any fears of not being one of His. Because when you're seeking Him, you're following Him, you're trying to please Him. And so, question from a listener. Greetings, Sherry. So what's the real deal with the Pope coming to America? He looks so non-human and phony. I was just waiting for him to shape-shift on TV like Gordon Clinton did years ago. His nose and ears looked like his skin had been peeled off. It was so red and sore-looking. Any thoughts on this matter? like a itchy red rash that's unexplainable? He's so evil. I mean, ever since this guy, even before he was elected, I mean, I have no idea why he came to America. I'm sure there was an agenda. I just don't have the time to dig for it. I'm sure someone will send it to me. I get so many emails from people that it's bound to come out eventually why he was here. So I have no idea why he was here. I just know that two things we prayed for: that they would lose their cloaking, and that they would get a red itchy rash for no apparent reason. That one basically just to tick them off. Hello, Sherry. My city is littered with elf towers. How much orgone do you need to take one out? Probably about 3 or 4 around the tower. And don't put them all in the same places, and don't get them right up under the towers, because the workers will just remove them. If you can't bury them in the ground, get them in bushes, trees. And think about these elf towers. They usually do put them off in the fields somewhere. So just throw the orgone out in the fields. Get it, and you don't have to be right up on the tower. You can be 50 to 100 feet away from a tower and get it. I've been 200 feet away from towers before because I couldn't get any closer. Just bombard them with the orgone, but you don't want it found. Put it places where they won't find it. If there's water sources around them, that's even better, because water sources are the best places to put orgone. Was that in Tennessee this weekend in regards to martial law? Yeah, that was in Memphis. I know someone who said he went there this weekend and his wife worked for the FBI. They did that in D.C. years ago. My brother couldn't get into his house. Yeah, that's in regards to the martial law drills. Yeah, the martial law drills. If it was a drill, that 300 people listed in Memphis would have been arrested. So if you have any questions for the show, folks, you can send them to SherryTalkRadio at yahoo.com. What do you think about the Philadelphia attack with Ebola and the Bible code from this site, satansrapture.com? That's Richard Landez's website. I wouldn't read any of his codes. I wouldn't read anything he says. He lies through his teeth about people, let alone codes. He had a Bible code program for 2 months and declared he was an expert. He's a mimicking copy of my whole ministry. I detest that man, and so no, I wouldn't even give him the time of day to quote on his Satan's website. It's basically all it is. It's quite a comment from a listener. I was watching the news tonight and I saw the Pope at the ballpark. He had a big red spot on his left cheek about the size of my thumb. This was sent in the other day from a listener. That was interesting about the Pope. When are people going to wake up and realize that Catholicism is nothing but idolatry and the worship of graven images, which is paganism? You know what? They're as afraid to leave Catholicism as Baptists are to leave Protestants, and same thing with the whole Protestant religion. So Methodists stay Methodists, and Baptists stay Baptists, and Lutherans stay Lutherans, because everybody fears that if they leave, they're going to go to hell. That's what mind control and religion does. Everybody fears to leave, because if you leave Catholicism, you don't go to Mass, you can go to hell. Or if you leave the Baptist church and you join the Pentecostals, well, they're going to hell, so you're going to go to hell with them. I mean, that's all you do is grow up hearing about how evil everybody else is, how everybody else is going to hell, but the religion you're in. And that's why I've been stating all along, the Lord isn't about religion. He isn't religion. He isn't lost. Man, religion's man's attempt to define God. And God isn't lost. And God will reveal himself to you if you ask him to. And so, he's not about religion. He's not in religion. The Pope's purpose was to bless Ground Zero. What a joke. He met up with true terrorist Bush. I'm sure Bush was no match for the Pope. Many more years of evil experience than Bush has. Bush is a pawn. He's simply a pawn. He's one of these MPD child victim of satanic child abuse kids that are controlled by the New World Order. Answer to Cassini by a listener. Cassini was given a 2-year lease on its life, is due now to run out of fuel in 2010. Nostradamus has a prophecy that planet in space will burn for 7 days. And so that could be Saturn or Jupiter. William Cooper said they would blow up Jupiter. And then NASA was coming out with this thing about Saturn. And so that's why I'm skeptical about Saturn. I'll still hang on to Jupiter. Because I don't believe anything NASA says. And William Cooper had talked about their plans to blow up Jupiter. He created in his book, Behold a Pale Horse, which is part of their plans. And so, that's what I'm going to get into tonight, folks. Just wanted to give you a heads up. If things start rolling, they're going to start rolling very quickly. If this is the July, watch for a UFO flyover in July in D.C. Of course, that's not new. They've had them before there. They probably do it every July. UFO flyovers in D.C. Watch for Congress being on fire. Also, some kind of attack with poison in the water in July. I keep seeing that liquid poison in liquid. Not sure what it is. I don't know if they're going to poison people's drinks, because it talks about celebrating and festivity, and so it's July 4th, and so just something to heads up on that. I think it's mostly geared towards D.C. though, and Congress itself. If they hold a special meeting in Congress on July 4th for some reason, don't go. If you're a congressman, of course, if you're a lizard, I could care less if you go or not. Very few in Congress that aren't. But so that'll be interesting, because why blow up a dead Congress? Nobody's going to be there on July 4th. As much as he just wants to get rid of Congress, you could just, fool them into going into an underground base and blowing up the building so that the charade of having Congress running America is over with. Do us a favor and just get rid of the charade. It's basically all it is. They just serve Satan's agenda now. Patriots, Christians around America are pretty much on their own here, folks. You got a bunch of Satanists leading our country, and they're just looking to take America straight to hell. And the Lord's going to allow them to do that. And so there's coming on famine, this forced famine that they're creating, starving people to death, the plagues that are going to come, the economy crash that's going to come, then Congress getting blown up in D.C., and government being relocated to Cheyenne Mountain and Colorado Springs. And so all this coming pretty much together, folks. And then martial law happening. And so, just a little bit of a brush of future events. Talk more about it next week. We're going week to week on the Internet because we don't know when they're going to clamp down and shut us off to the Internet. They're going to shut us off. They're going to shut everybody up and shut us down. And so, just being on the air week to week is going to be a blessing. All right, until then, until next week, everybody. God bless.